down in the den. So go tell a friend. The best podcast on earth's about to begin. We got jokes and news and movie reviews. After Dark NC-17 with the crew. Interviews with the best artists around. So like, comment, subscribe. The show's starting right now. Let's go. Like, comment, subscribe. The show's starting right now.
There's nothing we can't do. I'm mystified, I want you. Can't sanctify what I'll do. I want to, yeah. Can't sanctify what I'll do. I want to.
Welcome to Down in the Den Season 4 as we continue to put out the best content for musicians and music lovers alike. And you know, I'm batting 1,000 when it comes to the talent that we bring you, and today is no different. I'm welcoming a talented producer, but he's got a different hat on today. He's also a super talent artist, and he's going to talk about his artistry. He's going to give us the hype of what's going on. I want to give a warm Down in the Den welcome to the incomparable NYBD Not Your Baby Daddy. Welcome, bro. How are you doing today?
Peace, King. I'm doing great. Fantastic t-shirt. I'm a Wu-Tang fanatic.
You know it's Wu-Tang forever. It's for the children. Absolutely, absolutely. So, brother, it's a tradition here. I am not only a Wu-Tang fanatic, I'm a comic book fanatic. I grew up reading comic books every single day of my life. And one thing that's consistent, every hero or villain has an origin story. So the first question is always the same on every episode Down in the Den. What is your origin story? How did you become NYBD?
NYBD in particular. It's not a interesting story, but I can tell you how it happened. So let's say 6 months ago. No, we're in June, so maybe a year ago. I had an idea to come up with a podcast. So I'm going to have this podcast. I'm going to call it Conversations with Cortex, Not Your Baby Daddy. Just an idea. Never happened. It just never happened. So, I'm always in the studio recording, making music. Shout out to my homie Mad Beats. He came over one day. We're going to cook up some music. So we're grilling in the backyard. We're in the studio. I got 2 studios in the lab. So I'm in one in the orange room. He's in the blue room. He's making some stuff. And I'm hearing some drums. I'm like, bro, what's going on? He's like, yeah, I was wanting to make a rock and roll song, I was like, whatever you do, you need to save those. Because I need that for my life. So I was like, you know what? If you want to make a rock song, we can do it. But we got to finish the song completely. So fast forward, we make the song. And then we said, we got to write this. We wrote the song. Reached out to some songwriter. Got some ideas. We made a song. And I was like, I really like how she's singing it. It should kind of be sung like this. Did a reference. He's like, bro, she can't sing like that. You got to keep that. I'm like, nah, bro, I'm not an artist. So I took the song, threw it on the shelf. 4 months later, I come across a song just randomly. I'm like, you know what? This song isn't that bad. I'm just going to throw it out. Who cares? I throw the song out. It gets received quite well. I was like, really, you like this? I was like, okay, hold on. I'm going to make like a real song. Okay? And if the song is good to me, then I'll do 10. So, and then backtrack a second. So that song was called Blacklight. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to do the podcast, which I still never did. But I'm going to use this song as a theme song for the podcast. So I just named it NYBD, Not Your Baby Daddy. For the theme song, because theme song for the podcast. So anyways, I'm making some song. I made a song. I liked it a lot. I said, okay, I'm going to make 9 more songs. One of them is a song. The second song I made was a song called Sanctify, which I most recently released as my quote-unquote first official single under the artist title, NYBD, Not Your Baby Daddy. There goes the origin story.
I love it. I love it. Now, you mentioned your other name, one that people probably know you more familiar with, Cortex. Amazing hip-hop producer. So, there's been a lot of legendary producer artists, from Pharrell, my neck of the woods, Virginia Beach, to Kanye from Chicago, to Diddy, if you will. How does it feel making that transference? Because you have a certain advantage that most artists that just focus on the musical side, because you hear everything before it's even put to track. You know how everything is supposed to sound. How do you feel that is more advantageous to you coming from the producer realm and now stepping into the artistry world?
Uh, the advantage that I feel I have is I can make it go from 0 to 110% with no in betweens. Like you said, I understand the process of the music. So as I'm creating a song, I'm already mixing the record. As I'm producing a song, I'm already hearing the chorus. So it comes through very seamless and effortless because, I guess that's one of my, talents, I guess you can say.
Absolutely. Now, I love Sanctify. Whenever we have an artist in here, I like to research everything they do so I can really get a good vibe. I tell people all the time, I grew up, I'm a 90s baby, as you can tell, by the Wu-Tang shirt, but I grew up listening to hip hop, 90s hip hop, alternative music, and 70s rock. That was like and of course, Michael Jackson, disco era. That was the basis of Mars, of who I am as a person, as who I am as an artist. And we don't get enough credit. I always tell people of color, us, we created rock and roll. So how does it feel being a primarily known as a hip hop producer, but with multi talents, stepping into the rock realm? Was it welcoming? Did you get any pushback? Did your friends and fellow artists get shocked by what was coming from you?
Well, shout out to our boy Johnny Raps. You would consider me a hip hop producer because that's how you first exposed to me through Johnny Raps. But most of the people that I work with, all of them, actually, no two are the same.
I love it.
So the genres that I cover are very vast. You know, from whimsical Mary Poppins pop to dark grunge. I was just told the other day a term called suicide pop. Actually, suicide pop is her song called their music. To Johnny Raps, which is like just straight boom bap, beastie. I'm just versatile. So my music's gonna sound that way. Um, Much to my chagrin, I'm thinking I'm coming through straight hardcore Chuck Berry with a little bit of. Actually, when people ask my style, it's actually Lenny Kravitz meets ODB. So that's the NYBD sound, actually. So in that definition alone, it takes you through a lot of paths. But what I've come to realize, because this has also been an experiment for myself, because what I hear is not what others hear. We all have different ears.
Right.
But apparently, what the common denominator is that I am a soul producer. Who knew? So all the music that I make has an element of soul in it. Going back to what you're saying, what we grew up with, we probably like in the same generation. It's just that underlying effect of that, and I think that's what gives the sound its uniqueness. I was actually just having a conversation on what my next single should be, and I was like, I don't want people will say, "Oh, release this, release that." Like, I don't want to confuse people, so let me come out and hit you with another rock joint. That's probably what's coming next before I get to diverse. But I'm trying to keep it in the pocket. I'm trying to keep the brand the same way. I'm in a mixing phase of it. I'm on song 10 of 10 actually. So one more song to mix, and then I'm getting records pressed. I'm keeping it OLE school.
I love it. I love it. Now, is this project, you mentioned that you're going to keep it in pocket with a rock vibe, even though you obviously have uh, diverse musical tastes, such as myself. You mentioned our mutual boy Raps, who, has been on the show 4 times already. M. Ritzy, worked with her as well. And, she is totally different vibe from Johnny Raps, but both super dope. So it sounds like you're me. I always say there's only 2 genres of music, good and bad.
Correct.
Everything else is just, what's pleasing to your ear. So is it going to be all rock, or are you going to have some surprises? And is it just going to be NYBD, or do you look to have some collaborations? Some of the artists that you work with, or some people outside of the box that you're looking to work with on this project?
No, you're only going to hear my voice. I do have a song with one of my cousins. I actually found out in this process that she gets a pretty She sings pretty well. So she graduated from doing background vocals on a couple of records to having a whole verse. But besides that, nah, you're gonna get straight NYBD vibes. Whatever that is, you guys are gonna get it.
So far, I'm feeling it. I'm loving it.
Appreciate it.
Now, I always look for the roots, and you mentioned some incredible artists: Chuck Berry, Lenny Kravitz, OBD. That's a holy trinity right there. So, who else would you say your fans would be shocked? You mentioned some saccharine sweet pop, and I always tell people I have a weakness in my heart for pop music. Are there any artists that you would probably? I see tons of records back there. Are there any artists that people would be surprised that's in your playlist or your record collection?
Surprised? That's hard to say. I mean, my I don't know, my lineage and my ethnicity is my parents are Caribbean,
Okay.
and my mother's from Curacao, my dad's from the island of Dominica. I was born in Brooklyn, so that gives me a little bit of an advantage because the music that I grew up with, so I was forced into DJing. Okay, when I was a kid. So I'm DJing as a kid at the house parties, but I'm playing strictly soca and reggae music. So I just know all of those classics because that's what I spin. And then, I'm coming up as a kid in the 80s. Hip hop is really just, I'm first generation hip hop.
Right.
So I'm getting all that at the same time. And then, I'm an American, so, rock music is basically American music. So I don't know what will be unusual. I guess I have to step outside. So unusual would be like I would think all the soca music, which is not usual. But playlist, I was jamming to like some America the other day. I mean, that's probably not a normal thing to hear, America's definitely in my playlist, Hall and Oates, but those are just classics to me.
Right. And I always tell people, a lot of people frown about pop music. They say it's not getting real. And I'm like, pop music just means it's popular. It's crossing genres, it's crossing races. You should want, ultimately, your goal to be pop music. Something, some of my biggest artists that I've loved, Peter Gabriel, Phil Collins, a lot of Max Martin, Swedish production and things like that.
As a producer, as a quote unquote hip hop producer, I'm sampling everything.
Everything.
Been exposed to Bjork since way back, and just whatever I come across, digging in the crates. Literally, is how I find a lot of songs. I'm a digger. As you can see from behind, just random stuff. I just be digging in the crates, looking for the right picture on the cover to determine if I'm going to like the sound. Get home and I'm chopping anything up.
I love it. I love it. I grew up same way. My father, when he came back from Vietnam, he had all these records that he brought me. A lot of Southern rock and CCR and Queen, which isn't Southern rock, but just a ton of like amazing artists. So man, I love seeing a diversity. I love hearing your background a little bit and sharing your story. So we definitely appreciate that. Now, obviously, with the artistry, it's a different hat, same ear, different hat. Do you feel like you're going to put production on the backside, or is it something that you feel you can equally focus? Because I know it's difficult when you're doing multiple things. So you feel like you're going to put the production part on the back burner for a little bit while you step in the artist realm, or is it something that you're keeping at the same time?
I don't think so. Like I said, I was going to make 10 songs. I made the 10 songs. Now I'm just mixing the records. I'm used to multitasking. Right now I'm broadcasting from the Holland Jungle Studios in Brooklyn, and there's 2 rooms here. So I'm used to having like multiple sessions at the same time. I might have a Johnny Raps in the orange room with an Emirates in the blue room. That's just common for me. So I'm used to multitasking, I might be an engineering section in one room, might be a writing session in another room. So I've always been multitasking. I think that's one of my strongest traits is how I can manage a lot of things at the same time. I think that's why a lot of people depend on me because I lead by example, but I'm always executing something. I'm doing something all the time. I'm never not doing anything. So I did the 10 songs just to do it. Did it. Who knows? I didn't think I would do it before. To go back to that story, the origin story. Actually, I'm just remembering the other part. So we had that song in the chamber, whatever. I went to Costa Rica for New Year's. I was like a 7-day yoga retreat, just chilling. And I was like, self, what's your biggest fear? How can you get I feel like you're a little complacent. How can you get out of your complacency? I was like, well, I don't really like quote unquote public speaking. I'm a producer. I'm in the background. So okay, well, we're gonna step into your rock star shit. That's how we're gonna get out of the complacency zone. So that was actually when NYBD, Not Your Baby Dad, the artist, was born. I came back to New York. I was like, okay, bet. Go ahead, throw the song out, but I'm gonna make some real songs now. Cause that song's like whatever. And that's how it actually happened. It was a challenge to myself to step out of my comfort zone.
And I love it. And it's so funny that you touched on that. They say the fear that most people have more than death is public speaking. So I always challenge people to step out their comfort zone. I know it's not comfortable, but on the other side of that stress is generally greatness. So I love that. I love that. So, bro, we're almost done here, but I got to get you your DMate stamp. I got to put that in your passport to make it official, like a referee with a whistle. And this season, we play a little game, and this game is called Dive In. Shout out to Trey Songz. So we're going to do a deep dive, and this is brought to you by the good folks over at Poddex. You can save 10% on Poddex with discount code the D.E.N. And we've got some specially selected questions for a musical genius like yourself. So here's the first one. If you could co-write a song with anyone in history, alive or dead, who would that artist be?
If I can co-write a song with anyone,
co-write a song. You're going in the studio with anyone in history. It could be Beethoven. It could be Tupac. It could be RZA. You've got your dream artist to work with. Who are you picking?
I'm gonna have to go with my favorite producer of all time, Isaac Hayes.
Damn, great answer. Great shout out. Rest in peace to the icon. The icon.
Shout out to the chef.
The chef. Broken balls. Oh man. Oh man, that brought great memories. Great answer. All right. Number 2. What would you rather write? One incredible album or 10 very good albums? They're good, but you can have, your Beatles classic album, or you can have 10 just very good, like you're a good artist, but they're neither of them classic. What would you rather do?
I'd rather a classic album for sure.
Yeah, I agree. Mediocre is not the way.
I feel like I have a classic album, low key.
I believe you.
That's why I feel like I only need 10. It's 2023, so the release is unique. I may not even drop the whole album per se. I might play the singles game, but I am gonna have the album pressed on vinyl because that's just who I am.
Hey, that's the wave. That is the wave. Pull a Nipsey, sell them bad boys $1,000 a pop. You're gonna get some investors in that for sure. So the final question on Dive In, and this is a good one, or maybe a bad one. What would be worse? Unable to play music anymore, or unable to listen to music anymore?
As you're asking me the question, I'm really answering number 2. I mean, I was, man, I'm so thankful to have all my senses, all of them. But
yeah,
those ears, man, I need to be able to listen and hear. I don't know. I love it. I just, it's something about the process and the vibration of sound through my ears that I enjoy.
I tell people there's some healing frequencies out there if you know what you're doing. So, man, I agree with you. I give it all up, but if I couldn't listen to it, that would be a fate worse than death, in my opinion. So, brother, you're official like a referee with a whistle. You got the DMate stamp in the passport. That comes with some merch we're going to send you. It's also going to come with connections to some of our incredible artists that we have in our community. We appreciate you stopping by. Please let the people know where they can find you, when they can expect these projects coming out. Obviously, Sanctify is already out right now, streaming on all your favorite platforms. But when can they expect more from NYBD? And of course, where can they find you on social media?
I see you posted at NYBD full underscores, but you can check in with me at music.notyobabydaddy.com. Music.notyobabydaddy.com. I do appreciate you. I appreciate the platform. Keep doing what you're doing.
And we appreciate you stopping by and taking out some time in your busy schedule to share your story. We love it. We appreciate it. Welcome to the fam. Familia, I've been waiting to link this up for a while. So, man, welcome to the Den Mates. We're a crew of eclectic artists, creatives that just want to see each other shine, and I want to see you shine. Guys, please, you know I'm batting 1,000. I said it at the top of the show. Check out Sanctify. It's dope. I didn't think of Lenny Kravitz meets ODB, but now that he said it, that's exactly what it is, and you can't go wrong with those two at all. NYBD Cortez, brother, thank you so much again for joining us. It's your boy Mars, and we end every episode the same way. It's all about peace, love, unity, and respect. Deuces.
So like, comment, subscribe. The show's starting right now. Let's go. Like, comment, subscribe. The show's starting right now.